of Hollywood have come together, raised money, and they are pushing forward with an effort to provide legal assistance and legal funding to individuals who have been victimized by sexual assault or rape in the industries that they work in. Now, this is an effort that not only impacts women who work in the entertainment industry, but women who work in all different types of jobs, including those who might work as employees at a hotel, maybe cleaning rooms, whatever it is, they just want to make sure that they help provide support to these people. And by the way, it's not just women, they want to help provide support to men who have been victimized as well. It's known as the Time's Up Initiative. The group's aim is to provide a $13 million legal defense fund to help women in a variety of industries bring sexual harassment cases. Now, this is something that has gotten a lot of positive attention because it is a positive effort. This is great news. But there's one person who doesn't think it's great news and thought it would be a great time to criticize the Time's Up initiative. That person is Laura Ingraham. Let's take a look.
But now to the latest sexual harassment opportunism coming out of Hollywood. To great fanfare, they got star treatment in all the magazines, newspapers. A group of 300 female power players in Hollywood announced what they're calling the Time's Up Initiative. It's an effort to fight sexual harassment and other gender issues across the country and in the entertainment industry itself. Now, it's awfully convenient that these powerful women, many of whom knew for years about the exploits of Harvey Weinstein and others like him, are now seeking to cleanse themselves from any guilt by association with this type of grand rollout and gesture. But beneath the girl power platitudes and the recruiting of Anita Hill to write up a blueprint to end Hollywood sexual harassment, it's something, all of this feels just like another leftist political hack group. Like it's almost like a political action committee. And at the heart of the Time's Up group is a legal defense fund. You're seeing some of the photos with a $13 million war chest that's going to be used to litigate harassment claims. And donors to fund this? Meryl Streep, Reese Witherspoon, Steven Spielberg, and other Hillary backers. And by the way, several talent agencies, well, under duress, no doubt. It's kind of like what Jesse Jackson used to do with his Operation Push. Well, the defense fund is being led by Tina Chen. As far as I can tell, her only previous claim to fame was that she was chief of staff to, wait for it, Michelle Obama.
She was chief of staff to Michelle Obama? That means that she could never do anything good. No philanthropic work, we can't trust, she is not to be trusted. What are you doing, homegirl? Like you're sitting there talking shit, but what are you doing, right? Like, she is literally the only person I've seen so far that has anything negative to say about this. And by the way, the first allegation in that commentary was, oh, these women knew. A lot of these women were victimized themselves, and it didn't matter if they came forward and spoke about it because they were immediately shunned, immediately brushed under the rug. That's exactly what happened with Rose McGowan. And so, she's acting as if all of these people were complicit in what was going on, when in reality, a lot of them were victimized themselves, and they finally feel emboldened and empowered enough to come forward and do something about it.
What does Fox News do? They hire black people to attack black people. They hire Latinos to attack Latinos. And in this case, they hire women to attack other women. They all knew. How do you know they knew? What is, look, by the way, I object to her saying it, and sometimes some liberals say it, right? Like, oh, they knew. How do you know what Meryl Streep knew or didn't know? How are you inside her head? She once worked on 2 movies with Harvey Weinstein. So she knows what Harvey Weinstein was doing in a basement with a potted plant. She doesn't know that. At least you certainly don't know that. It's obviously in an effort to cleanse themselves. Or maybe, just maybe, they actually care about other human beings. I know that's never crossed your mind, because what do conservatives do? Projection. She thinks, well, I would never care about any other person. So if they appear to be spending money caring about other people, well, it's obviously a trick.
Also,
it's obviously to just help yourself, because that's all we do here at Fox News. And one more thing about projection, Anna.
Yeah.
It's obviously for political reasons, like a political action committee. Why? Because if conservatives did it, they would never mean it in good conscience. They would actually be doing it for a secret purpose, to collect emails, etc., for their political purposes. So they project onto liberals. So these guys are not that political. They're like, I don't know, this seems bad. And it seems like we can defend ourselves because we're famous, but waitresses and cleaning people in attendance can't protect themselves. Maybe we should help them. But to the conservative mind, that makes no sense. It doesn't compute. There's no reason you would do anything that didn't help yourself and that was actually political secretly.
It's also interesting how in the same statement, she goes on to criticize these women and their effort to raise money for legal defense. And then at the same time, she'll go ahead and, because when she's talking about like, oh, they knew, right? That gives the indication that she thinks that the Harvey Weinstein story is a serious one. Sexual harassment or sexual assault is serious. And if she genuinely thinks that, then great, I'm on her side, right? But then in the same statement, she goes on to belittle what Anita Hill went through. Because when liberals, or so-called liberals, carry out any type of abusive behavior, they should be criticized, right? If anyone's complicit in it, they should be criticized. But if a conservative Supreme Court justice nominee is accused of sexual harassment, Anita Hill, boring, don't want to hear it.
In other words, what is she doing? She's politicizing it.
Exactly, and it's not meant to be political.
She just said, oh yeah, they probably are doing this for political reasons. And then she goes and turns around and says, if it's a liberal, he actually did it. If it's conservative, that didn't happen, no way. You see how they're politicizing it.
Okay.
And by the way, just one more thing about the Anita Hill part. She's such a bad entertainer, if you will, and talk show host. And then Anita Hill, oh yeah,
no, that was great acting. Okay,
That's so fake.
That was only one part. I have to show you the second part of this video because this is actually the portion that infuriated me the most. Take a look.
Many of these women are the same women who have made millions of dollars flaunting their bodies for anyone who cares to watch. And at times, you've been watching these award shows. There's some talented people there, some beautiful folks, women and men. But at times, the dresses seem to be defying the laws of physics, right? The double-sided tape, how do they keep that up? For a while, it was almost as if Hollywood was creating a new category. And accepting on behalf of, for the deepest neckline is, well, I mean, you can wear whatever you want, but then don't be shocked when people, including men, stare. It's gonna happen. Now, these same people, producers, writers, directors, agents, and actors who have objectified women, and in some cases themselves, they're suddenly the moral conscience of the entire country, not just the entertainment industry. They're gonna safeguard women across the country. Well, what are we gonna believe? That they're looking like, what, pilgrims this award season? What are they gonna be wearing? Oh, okay. Oh, that's actually a good look on her. Perhaps a Little House on the Prairie collection will be making its premiere at the Golden Globes. What are you wearing? Laura Ingalls Wilder? Well, look, don't hold your breath. You know who's gonna do more to help women than anyone else this year, by the way? They won't admit it. But I'll tell you who. Yeah, there he is, Donald Trump.
Yeah, Donald Trump's gonna help women. Yeah, he's gonna help himself, just like you. So,
he's been accused by at least 16 women of sexual harassment.
Or sexual assault. He was caught on tape, on audio, talking about grabbing women by the genitals and how he doesn't even have to ask for their permission, you can do whatever you want, just grab them by the pussy. When you're a star. Okay, so first of all, who watches Laura Ingraham and doesn't think, my God, she seems incredibly mean? But when she was getting a Fox News show, there were reports out that the staffers panicked inside the building. They were like, nobody wanted to be assigned to it because she's so unbearable. Even at Fox News headquarters, they're like, whoa, not Laura Ingraham. I mean, I know this is a little side note, and I shouldn't focus too much on it, but she's so bad at her job. Laura Ingraham, the house on the prairie. What is that? What the hell was that, right?
Yeah.
And the dresses they showed at the end, they were almost. I mean, like I can't. I know they're trying to appeal to males who grew up in 1955 because that's the Fox News audience. The show she took over, literally the demographic, the average age is 72 years old. Yeah. 72. Okay, that means for every 42-year-old, there's a 102-year-old watching that show. So, okay, so I get it. And they're like, oh yeah, those references to the prairie. The prairie, remember the prairie was good. And these women with their plunging necklines, wow, what is that about?
Show me some B-roll of that.
Yeah, show me.
That was such a classic Fox News segment though, in that everyone is so, self-congratulatory and they feel so good about themselves because they're judging the way others are dressing and how it's too provocative, too promiscuous, too this, too that. But at the same time, they have like constant B-roll in the background of the plunging necklines that they're being so judgmental about.
They'll do it again. So that's why I make predictions ahead of time. Sean Hannity, every single spring break, does a story about spring break, sometimes several times a year, and he'll show nonstop girls in bikinis go, tut, tut, tut. Can you believe these girls in bikinis, these liberals are outrageous. I'm gonna show it to you for at least 20 minutes. He'll do it again this year, starting around March. He'll go to his annual War on Spring Break where he shows you nothing but wall-to-wall girls in bikinis. Because those guys from 1955 are like, yeah, that's outrageous. Oh, don't turn it, honey, don't turn it. Okay, so now last thing about this. Look, it's all fun because it's so over the top, so absurd, right? I'm judging what they're wearing, but the person who's gonna help women is Donald Trump. I mean, how do you say it with a straight face? But there is something really, really serious in what she did there. And it was blaming women for dressing wrong. Now, the issue isn't whether guys look, okay? Yeah, we get it, guys look, and the whole country looks. But that's not the issue. The issue that they raised $13 million for is sexual harassment and sexual assault, okay? That's not looking. And so what is she doing? She's victim blaming. Well, I mean, you're worried about sexual harassment and assault, but look at what you were wearing.
Yeah.
I mean, it is the oldest and dirtiest tactic to attack the victims.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, anyone who knows their rhetoric can immediately identify what she was trying to do there. And it's just hilarious because again, in the same argument, in the same video, she criticizes these women who are trying to help other women out, other people out, not just other women, other people out who have been victimized. She criticizes them by accusing them of being complicit, but then at the same time goes ahead and slut shames them for what they're wearing. Who cares what they're wearing? You sound a little jealous, to keep it real, okay? And then basically makes it seem as though, oh, well, if you've been sexually assaulted or harassed, well, you deserve it. You're wearing that plunging neckline. Just shut up.
If you want to get the whole Young Turks show every single day, become a member, tytnetwork.com/join. And once you do, you'll be saying,
I'm like a smart person.
Or you might say,
I think it's weird.
Or you might say,
oops.
No, that won't be that one. It won't be that one. It'll be great, trust me. tytnetwork.com/join.